Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and today I want to turn a towel into a towel wrap. When I come out of the shower, I do like to wrap this towel around me. Now I know I can use this method, however, as I'm drying my hair, this never stays done. So I do want to make it more permanent. Now we can use a towel, or we can use toweling that you can buy at a fabric store. For this, I do have a nice towel that I'm going to use. It has a little border down the front. Now this towel, I am going to custom make it for myself. So you're going to be able to follow along and custom make it for you. After all, we might as well have it comfortable. The first thing I want to talk about is the closure. Now we can use many things to close this, and the most popular one is Velcro. And Velcro is fine, but it's not my favorite. And the reason is I find as I'm washing my towel, that Velcro gets full of lint and can put little runs and pulls in my towels. So I would rather use snaps, buttons, or even a hook and eye. But if you like Velcro, go right ahead. Whatever you want to make, it's yours. I personally don't like a big overlap in the front of my towel. So what I'm going to do is overlap the amount that I want and make sure that I have enough, because I will be putting elastic in the back to pull this in tighter. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that towel is going to be big enough. And toweling in the store is definitely a lot of fun to use. You can get lots of different colors and lots of different sizes. Once I've decided that towel is big enough, I am going to put my closures in. And in my case, I am going to put 2 buttonholes and 2 good old-fashioned buttons. So I'm going to take this to the machine, and I'm going to follow the directions for my machine and add 2 buttonholes and then add on my 2 buttons. I have 2 nice big fun buttons and some buttonholes. Because I am using toweling, I did put some water-soluble stabilizer onto the front of those buttonholes as I was stitching them. They'll wash away, but it does give a nice finish to those buttons. So I know now that this is going to stay where I want it to stay. And I have lots that I'm going to be able to put some elastic in the back. The problem is I can't see the back in order to know how much elastic to put in the back. So I'm going to turn this around, and that's why I like to have this done first. So I'm going to turn that around. So I have that back in my back. Now I'm going to be able to adjust this front. I'm going to take this and bring it right to where I am going to have that comfort level and pin it. I want to figure out where that elastic is going to go. This is the extra, but I want this elastic to fit in my back. I don't want the elastic to go under my arms. So my back is pretty close to my front. So this is the area that I want the elastic to stop. So I'm going to just put some pins and mark it. I need to take a measurement that's approximately going to be my elastic size, and it's going to go from pin to pin. So in my case, it's pretty close to 9 inches. So I just need to keep that measurement in mind. Take that center pin out, keep those side marks, and now I can take this off and start working on it. So I have these 2 pins. That is going to be my next measurement. It doesn't have to be exact, but I do want that 19 inches to be in the middle. So I'm going to do up that front and then find that middle back. So there's my back measurement. I can open this up and make sure I have 19 inches centered from my center mark. Now I can remove that center mark. So this 19 inches is going to be condensed to that measurement of my elastic, which will be 9 inches. Once I have picked out my elastic, I'm going to need to take a piece of fabric and cut it to make a casing to go along that back. I have an 1.5 inch elastic. I would add an extra inch and cut 2.5 inches. And the length we're going to need is that 19 inches plus 1 inch. So we're going to do 20. And of course, your measurement will be different depending on your elastic and the size of that back. I'm using a very lightweight cotton, just not to add that extra bulk. So when I put it down, it's a little bit bigger and bigger than my elastic. I'm going to work on these little ends. I'm going to fold once, fold again, just so that I have a nice, clean, finished edge. And it doesn't have to end up being that exact 19 inches. Just do a little double rolled finished edge. Once I have those little edges rolled and stitched, I'm going to press in about a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Once again, it doesn't have to be exact, but what we need to check is make sure that we have enough room for that elastic to go in. Stitch these 2 long sides onto the back of that towel. And I will not be stitching through that top folded edge, but I will be stitching right underneath it. So I'm going to center that piece, pin it, and stitch 2 long rows. That casing is stitched down, and I do have those 2 sides open. We need to put the elastic through here. Now, if you bought the exact amount of elastic that you need, we're going to have to stitch on a pulling strap. So I'm going to show you how to do this with a pulling strap and without a pulling strap. Just put a good old pin in there and pull it right through. You're going to need to take one side and stitch it down. And I'm going to pin it in this case. And then I'm going to pull this elastic so that this piece comes to about 9 inches. So this I'm going to pull in and gather until I get to that 9 inches. Pin it, try it on and make sure it fits, and then we can do a row of stitching here. Now let's say you don't have all of this extra elastic. You're going to need a pulling strap. So what you're going to do is on the end of the elastic, you're going to stitch a long piece of fabric. So I have that little piece of elastic that's going to fit inside, plus this pulling strap. I'm going to take that, put it through. So I have the elastic coming out the one side and do a row of stitching. And I do like to do 2 rows of stitching or even a zigzag to anchor that elastic in. There's going to be a good pull, so we do want it strong. Now that that end is anchored in, I'm going to be able to use this pulling strap and pull that elastic, which stops here, all the way to the end. Once I come to the end, I can put a pin and now try that on. So that fabric came in very handy for taking that small piece of elastic and getting it inside. You're also going to find whatever that size that you had originally had will be probably an inch or 2 smaller. I really need that pull inside to hold it on. So don't be surprised if your elastic goes shorter than what you had thought you were going to go. So now I can do those rows of stitching and trim that off so it's going to look the same as this side. Now that that is all secure, I'm going to be able to cut off that extra. And that has a beautiful finish on the inside and a really nice finish on the back. And that is all there is to custom making your own towel wrap. So that elastic in the back is going to have a little snugness to it when I do up this front. So when I look at it, I have the first buttonhole and the button right here. So you can see that there is a little bit of a space that I'm going to need to tug to put this on. But if I don't have a little tug, it's going to fall off. So there I have, it's going to stay on, it's nice and comfortable, and it looks nice from the back. It's nice that we can customize it to fit us. And if you have family members, you can always custom make one for every member of the family. Now when I do my hair and my hands are free, my towel will not be free. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I have a newsletter. It's all free under Sew Very Easy. And be sure to make every day a Sewtacular day. Bye for now.